Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Today a bit of an experiment day. I've seen the question not come up on my channel, just come up in general on YouTube and on Google. Can you cast resin without a mould? So I did a little research, got a few items here to have a little attempt with. Now I know it doesn't stick to plastic because I've done that. I wonder if it'll stick to bubble wrap. Some people would say online that it doesn't stick to cardboard, but I think it will, but we'll see. On the flip side, I think you could wash cardboard off. So that's what I'm thinking with that. I don't have any plasticine, but I have Play-Doh. So I've took a little cast of a little alien dude. We're going to see if we can get a resin cast of him. It won't stick, it'll stick to dry things, but it won't stick to wet things. But whilst this isn't wet, not that it won't stick to wet things, it reacts. But this is a fresh leaf as opposed to a dried leaf. So we're going to see if we can get it to stick to the surface of that and peel the leaf off the back. This is what we're going to experiment with. This is for people who can't afford to get the silicone moulds, and if any of these work, brilliant, you've got some options. So that being said, let's have a bit of a play and get some of these in motion. So I believe I've got everything to hand. I'm going to try this little guy first. And see what's going to happen if we fill him up. We're not going to go all the way, we just want to get a little detail. So we'll do these guys one at a time. Because the leaf I'm going to need to try and spread it on there. Do we do the leaf as well at the same time? I mean, they'll both fit under the light, won't they? Let's try and do the leaf at the same time. Let's see if we can get this. Right, that might just all run off the edge. We'll find out. So let's give them a little blast. See if this works, or see if they just react. This is an experiment day after all. I don't think I quite got his foot, but that's alright. We're rolling with it, and I'm not worried about bubbles right now. I just want to see if this works. It's definitely gone a bit of a funny colour in there. So it might be reacting with the Play-Doh. We'll see. And at least the resin on the leaf isn't slipping off. It doesn't appear to be anyway. It might all slowly head down one way. Guess we'll find out. UFO time. And I didn't turn that switch on. That would help. Being green and all that. UFO time. Now, the only thing I think with the Play-Doh and UV resin is I can't flip it over because it is 100% opaque. It is not going to creep through in the slightest. At least the coloured silicone moulds are semi-transparent, well, semi-opaque, so some penetrates enough for it to set. This might only set from the surface, unless it's one of those things where you have to do it in really, really thin layers. It's not an incredibly deep impression of a little toy alien. Okay, that's had about 1 with the torch and 2 blasts of that. The leaf feels set. Will the leaf peel away? It does! Oh! That's really cool. That is really cool. I'll have to get the camera phone on that in a second, but that has actually come away and it's not sticky. That's really cool, and obviously it's picked up all the fine detail of the veins in the leaf. So leaves work. You can pick leaves from your garden and you can create, oh, we could make a beautiful flower out of that, couldn't we? That's a winner. This one, I'm not too sure. No, it's so sticky on the underside. It might set in shallow, you know, building up very, very shallow layers. So that's a no-go. But we might come back and try and do it in layers. So for the time being, leaves or winds, Play-Doh, maybe shallow. We'll come back to that. Now, the cardboard, the bubble wrap, I'm quite confident with. So we're going to do something really thin there. I had to pause because the door went. Alright, let's pick up where we left off. So we know this is going to work. We don't know if this one's going to work. And this just didn't. But I think it's, like I say, I think that's worth retrying, but doing it in very thin layers. Very thin. So, let's get these two on the go. I'm just going to do a simple moon shape. And try not to blow bubbles in it. Right, I think that one's officially tapped. Let's get this one. Give it a little moment on the upside down. And I've left my tea way out of reach. Just do a circle. Right, now this one, I'll be surprised by. So I was originally going to go for a whole coaster, but I'm not going to go for that. I'm just going to do a little bit in the middle. We'll stick a shiny thing right in the middle. and see how that works. I have a feeling that we're going to have the same with this as we did with the Play-Doh, because we can't do the underside, but we'll see. See what we get, see what happens. I'm also going to try these options with epoxy resin, though I feel the Play-Doh may melt. I have confidence in this, though I still think the cardboard's going to stick. And I have confidence in the bubble wrap. I think that's going to pop off as easy as it did on the leaf. I do think that's going to stick to the cardboard, but like I say, in theory I think the cardboard will wash off, but that depends if that sets underneath, which I don't think it will. Especially since I've stuck a big old reflective on top, so it's not going to go through that. But we'll see. Right. We will snap forward. I'm doing the UFO. Okay. They've had 2 blasts. So whilst that was doing that, I had a 20p in my pocket, so I thought, that's super shallow. Let's try. So that did have a little blast with the torch, and we're just gonna, so we don't mind if it comes out cloudy right now, just for experiment purposes. Well, it doesn't feel like it's set under the flower, but it's set over the top. And that has set. So let's have a look at the bubble wrap first. See if that worked. Well, we'll know that it's set, but can we get it off the bubble wrap? That'll be the question. Ooh. It has come off. Let's slip that under there. Set on the other side. That's really cool. I reckon if we did something proper with that, oh, we could make something really cool using the bubble wrap. There's not much bubble left in this. A little bit. But I find some good bubble wrap out, because I've got all kinds of bubble wrap, including some super tiny bubbles. I think we could make something really cool with that. Flip it over, because that's the only thing I didn't do then for tests. Poor test practice sake. I reckon that'll come off even easier because it was the tiniest bit tacky. I didn't need to touch it to realise that. Now this, I expect the cardboard to have stuck to it, and it feels wet underneath. But I do think this is a potential option. I mean, it's had a nice effect. Let's pop that over there. Finish off the underside and see if we can wash away the cardboard, or we can use the cardboard to our advantage with that one. So has this set this time been super shallow? or has it just melt the detail off? Let's find out. It feels like it's set. It doesn't feel like, it just feels like soft Play-Doh I'm pulling off right now. I'm going to give this one a wash to get rid of the rest of the Play-Doh. Ooh, that might be an option, you know. The Play-Doh might have actually worked. Done right, I think the Play-Doh can work. So we'll wash that in a second. We'll leave that. That is so cool. I really like that. That's a very cool effect. The bubble wrap is a winner. The leaf is a winner. We'll look at that in a second. Tell you what, while that's doing that, I'm going to wash the 20p up. Okay, back. Cleaned up. It's frosty, but it has, this is the Play-Doh one, it has cast that 20p pretty perfectly. I'll try and show you that. The cardboard bun was a surprise. It actually hasn't worked too bad. I was just having a go at the back. As you can see, there's some cardboard stuck within it. But I was just sanding the back with some wet sandpaper. And it's got potential. Let me get my phone on these to show you what I can see. So, first off, the leaf. That is pretty perfect, to be fair to it. That's come out really well. So the leaves are a yes. Or at least ones that aren't fuzzy. This leaf that I used is from a flamingo plant. So it's really shiny. I didn't try the back. Maybe try the back next time. So that's a yes. Oh, that's a yes. I'd recommend that. You can use leaves if you haven't got moulds. The bubble wrap. Oh my goodness, look at how cool that is. That's the top side that wasn't against the bubble wrap. And that's the underside. It has taken a really good print of the bubble wrap. Try and find the best way to hold it. Look at that. That I'm going to do again. That's giving me ideas. That is so cool. Right, this one, I don't know if you can see. Look, that was the Play-Doh. I'll try and get it in focus. That's taken a pretty good print. Yeah, it's not clear. So there's obviously some sort of reaction going down. Plus, I didn't give it the fairest of tests for clearness sake. I just wanted to see if you could. And you can. And it washes off easy as. It's hard to pick off, but it's really easy to wash off. I have to keep my hand there, otherwise it'll keep focusing on the background. That's really cool. Really impressed with that. And the cardboard one, it was clear before, clear, but had cardboard stuck on the back. As you can see, I think this might work better with the epoxy because it can heat all the way through and not just from wherever the UV light can reach. Or if you're not going to stick a big old glitter flower in the middle like I did. I think over time, if I was willing to keep working on this, because that was a lot more caked up than that, I could get rid of all the cardboard residue that's left and buff it up a treat. So to be fair, they all did work in different ways. This works really, really well. But then you're only doing a thin layer when you're covering a leaf to pull it off. So you didn't need to worry about the underside. Like, that isn't sticky at all in the slightest. The bubble wrap, amazing. And because it's on plastic, it's come away. Because it's dimpled, you can't really see how clear it's come away, but that has come away super, super clear. So that's really impressive. The Play-Doh, it's clear, it's cloudy but clear, but like I say, that wasn't strictly a fair test because it was just done on the spot. But I am, where are we? Get that back in focus. I am impressed that the Play-Doh worked as well as it did. And the cardboard, it's going to have its uses. So I'd say they all worked in varying degrees really well, exceptionally well. Pretty darn good in shallow moulds, or I reckon, like I say, building it up really slowly in layers. Potentially good, probably more suited for epoxy resin at the moment. That's what I reckon. But that I was pleasantly surprised with. So let's pop that away for a second. So that's our little experiment for the day. There's definitely things I can take away from this, and potentially stuff you all out there can take away with you too. Let me get rid of these sparkly bits for a moment, otherwise I'll forget that they're there and flick them all over the floor. To answer a question, you can mold, you can cast resin or UV resin at the moment, because that's all we've tested, if you haven't got a silicone mould. Sometimes it's trial and error, but that's where I'm going to come in. I'm going to do the trial and error, so you all can use this as research, and if any of you out there want to try this, you'll be able to do it, knowing what sort of result to expect. So, yeah, that being said, thank you all so much for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've been able to learn something from this like I have today. And yeah, let me know if you have a go yourself, and if you've got any suggestions of other surfaces to try casting. At the moment, UV resin. Like I say, I'll do another day, I'll do epoxy experiments. Yeah, pop that in the comments and I will have a look, see if there's anything that I can do. I shall in the next video, or the next experimental video. And yeah, like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you so much, take care, and see you in the next one.